welcome to Out of the Box Radio with me, your host, Christine Blasdale. Out of the Box Radio is a weekly podcast of audible ear candy dedicated to bringing a fresh perspective on this thing that we call life. And each and every week, we're going to be diving into the topics that matter most with lively conversations on issues such as health, wellness, and transformational healing, all with the goal of creating a better world and becoming a happier human being. I will be your tour guide for this epic adventure, and each and every week, we're going to be embarking on a journey with the ultimate goal being transformation to our highest potential. And now, let's get out of the box. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Out of the Box Radio. I am your hostess with the mostest, Christine Blasdale, and I'm very happy that you tuned in today because I have a very special guest that is going to literally rock your world. My guest today is Craig Duswalt, and he is a keynote speaker, author, podcaster, and the creator of the brands Rockstar Marketing and Rock Your Life. My guest today, because he has just wowed me with so much of his presentations that I've seen already online, I thought it was important to have him on Out of the Box Radio. Not only has he written 8 books and is a #1 Amazon best-selling author, his background includes touring with Guns N' Roses as Axl Rose's personal assistant and also with Air Supply as the band's personal assistant. And he has created and promoted his Rockstar events all over the country, teaching corporate America, entrepreneurs, small businesses, home-based business, and the self-employed how to promote themselves and their business by thinking outside of the box. That is why I'm having him on the show today. So joining me today, right now on Out of the Box Radio, is Craig Duswalt. Craig, welcome to Out of the Box Radio.
Well, thank you, Christine. Very good intro. Love the name of the show because I'm all about outside the box.
I know. That's how when I saw this, when I saw in your bio those words, all of the alarm bells went off. And then, of course, talking to you about the 3-day Rockstar marketing boot camps that you do, I thought this would be perfect for our listeners. Our listeners, we have so many people that are, progressive, health-minded individuals that are maybe have their own business, but also a lot of folks that listen to Out of the Box Radio. Maybe they're in a job that they're not happy with. They're slaving away. They have a mortgage to pay, and they're like, I have to do this. I have to work hard in order, right? That mentality.
Yeah.
I have to work hard in order to be successful. Well, I like to blow those ideas away with my guests, and you are no exception because I know of the work that you do. So let's have our listeners hear from you a little bit about what is Rockstar Marketing and Rock Your Life.
Well, Rockstar Marketing started because I was sick of doing exactly what you just said. I was in the corporate world for a while. Well, first I started with Guns N' Roses, Air Supply out of college. Then I went to Guns N' Roses. But then I went back to LA, tried to join the corporate world after being on the road for so long. And it was just really hard, and it was such a different lifestyle than Guns N' Roses and Air Supply that I wanted to get back into creativity and doing things like my way and not being tied to a corporate structure. So I started, I became a speaker in the year, 1996. Yeah, 96. And I created Rockstar Marketing, basically, which helps entrepreneurs and regular people just like you and I become rock stars in their business. And through marketing, I'm a marketing coach. And then I started Rock Your Life because a lot of people had to or wanted to fix their lives or enjoy their lives more, not necessarily focus on work, but focus on how to balance work and life. And that's Rock Your Life. So I have these 2 brands. And every March and September, I do these Rockstar Marketing boot camps where 400 to 500 entrepreneurs fly in from all over the world and learn to become rock stars in their business, in their industry, and in their life. So I learned from Axl Rose and Air Supply and Guns N' Roses. How do you attract 80,000 people to come to a concert? So I take what I learned with those bands. And now I teach businesses, how do we attract all these people to want to work with us, want to sign up for our seminars, how to buy our books, how to go to our websites, or how to just buy our products and services.
Now, one of the things you had mentioned about, and I had said that you have already written several books yourself. But one of the things that I noticed when one of the things that you encourage people to do is to write a book. And now, for a lot of people, first of all, they'll say in their head they're like, but I don't know anything. I don't know enough to fill a whole book, because they're thinking like, Great Expectations. They're thinking some Dickens novel.
That's right.
Or they say, well, it's a daunting process. I'm not going to get published. Who's going to publish me, right? Those kind of ideas are absolutely limiting for people. Explain about this whole wonderful idea of writing a book.
Yeah. Exactly that. Once again, is everyone can write a book, and I was an author 10 years ago, and I thought the same exact thing. How the heck do you write a book, or how does anyone write a book? And I wanted to write this, like, when I first got into speaking, I wanted to teach the world about marketing, and I wanted to write basically the Bible of marketing, like a 400-page marketing book, because I assumed back then that if you wrote a book, you had to write like a 300 or 400-page book, and you had to be an expert, and you had to have degrees and all these things to write a book. And then I went to a seminar once on how to become a speaker, and I started thinking differently. And I wrote a small book. What I did was, instead of writing this really large Bible of marketing book, I took all the chapters that I was going to write in this book, because it took me 6 years to even write one page for that book, because I was so overwhelmed.
Right.
Right. So 6 years I wrote one page, and then I said, this is crazy. And I started looking at smaller books. So basically I took the four of my chapters from my big, gigantic book, and I turned them into individual books. So my first book was called Marketing Your Small Business on a Shoestring Budget. And it was a 96-page book. And I wrote 4 books in 9 weeks, because I took the overwhelm away and just wrote 96-page books. And I wrote 96 pages for 2 reasons. One, it was less than 100 pages, so the overwhelm of me writing the book was less than 100 pages, so now it was doable in my head. And second, now people actually read my books because they're not 400 pages. And who wants to read a 400-page book?
Nobody.
On marketing?
Right.
Exactly. So I teach people to write 96-page books or less, or a couple of pages more. And I have this How to Write a Book in 30 Days system, where I teach people how to write a book in 30 days. And I've had over 500 authors, non-authors like me, write books. So I have 500 plus authors writing these books. And now I teach people how to market those books, because they're easily printed now, because they're not as expensive to print. And I teach people to use their small books instead of business cards, because yes, they're a little bit more expensive than business cards, but you get more bang for the buck, because like your radio show, Outside the Box, everyone hands out business cards, but very few people will hand out a book as their business card. And now that's how you stand out from the competition. It's just a different mindset of what a business card is now. Instead of a business card, you hand out books, and now you're a rock star in your business.
Well, what I love about that is that, and this is my mindset, because everything that I do in life and that I will be doing in life needs to be a win-win-win situation. In other words, I win, you win, the audience wins. When those kind of situations happen, it's amazing what can occur. But immediately when you hand somebody a book, you're giving them a gift.
Yes.
And if they read it or if they don't, that giving of a gift, that generosity of spirit, it really does come back to you, possibly from that person maybe a month later or a week later, or you just never know what they're going to do with that book. But it does elevate you also now as an author and a professional in whatever it is that you're talking about. Now, we're talking about, obviously, marketing. We're talking about entrepreneurs and businesses. But you can literally, people can write any kind of book.
Anything. Yep. Back to what you just said, when I hand people a book, yes, it's a gift for sure. And also, their first reaction is, how did you write a book? because most people in the world, I would say 90 something, high 90%, have not written a book. For example, pretty much everyone I went to high school with hasn't written a book. So when I go back home and I give them my book, they're like, first of all, how did you write a book? I went to high school with you, you know, like how did that happen? And the second thing is they are blown away and they want to know, how did I do this? So now it gets them, if you're a speaker and you put on events, it gets them to say, well, if you come to my event, I'll show you how to write a book. But for other people that don't teach how to write a book, it still wows them that you've done that, because most people have not written books. You know?
Exactly. No, it adds an element of prestige. I gotta say, it does. Mm-hmm. Also, another thing, talking about giving a gift, you do something very unusual at your events that you have, and we'll tell our listeners about.
I do a lot of things.
No, but one of them it's brilliant. Obviously, it's high energy. You know, the whole idea of using rock and roll, Rockstar marketing, rock your life. That is in itself is awesome, because it gets the energy flowing when you have the music playing and people get moving. But you do something with T-shirts. And I thought this was brilliant. Tell the listeners about what you do in the beginning, before you even speak.
Yeah, so I'm very confident on stage, but we all get nervous before we go on stage. And I teach speakers how to speak. I teach speakers what they should speak about in my seminars as well. So writing a book is one. Speaking is another way to market your business, even if you don't want to be a professional speaker, even if you're deathly shy, even if you have stage fright, there's ways of doing this. So I get nervous before I go on stage, because I want to do my best and I want to be, great, give great content, and I want to be exciting. So the first thing I do when I'm introduced is I have these Rock Your Life T-shirts, and I throw out, depending on how big the audience is, between 20 and 200 T-shirts before I even start. So I'm introduced. They play loud music to introduce me. I'm running up onto the stage, and I grab T-shirts and I throw them out either one by one, or I grab a stack of them and I throw them out to sections of the audience. So what's happening is now, first of all, the energy is high in the room, number one. Number two is I just gave 20 to 200 people a free gift again, another free gift. So the law of reciprocity is I just gave them a free gift. They're going to listen to me, and or maybe purchase my products or services, because I just gave them something for free. So it does that, and it also now makes me not nervous anymore, because I throw T-shirts out, and so I'm on stage for about 2 or 3 minutes. I haven't even said a word yet. Everyone's running up to the stage to get T-shirts, or they're diving in the audience to get T-shirts. The energy is high. I'm playing a very popular song, and then I go into name that tune, because Rockstar, I want to stay in the music mode. So I play about 10 songs, just the beginning of the songs, and everyone yells out the name of the song, and they yell out the name of the artist. So I'm 5 to 6 minutes into my presentation, haven't really even said a word yet on my topic or speaking, but now I'm comfortable on stage. My audience loves me because I'm playing musical games. I've just given most of them a T-shirt, and now I'm ready to go into my presentation, and I'm feeling good, and the audience is totally on my side. So if you're a speaker, think of something that you can do to not be nervous. And I hate speakers, not really, but most speakers just go on stage and start talking, and there's nothing different. Everyone does that. So try to think of something different if you become a speaker.
And especially so with your clients and the people that you work with, you find out what is unusual, because not everybody is going to be like you. I mean, obviously, no one is like Craig Duswalt.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
No one is like you, but they all have we all have our own charm, or
we all have something different.
Something different, exactly. And this parlays into my next question too. It doesn't matter what, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a salesman, one thing that you work with people on is how to think differently than their competition, than the other people. And we don't, I don't like to think of competition so much like, you know, an us versus them or a me versus somebody else kind of thing.
Right.
But just to differentiate us, you know, myself from someone else who has maybe similar skills or is in the same field as I am. Let's talk about that. How do you go about that, especially with individuals, like either one-on-one or even in a small group of people?
Yeah. You know, if I got into this business I got into this business and I thought to myself, when I first got in, I had that limited mindset when I first got into the speaker world, because I started Googling becoming a speaker. I went to a seminar about how to start a speaking career, started Googling it, and I thought to myself, what am I good at? So I'm a marketing guy. I owned an ad agency. I was a creative director for ad agencies. I was a senior copywriter. I had done ads pretty much a lot of my life. And then I toured with bands, and they did things differently, obviously, than what we do in business. But everything, I started Googling, like becoming a speaker and becoming a marketing speaker. And if you Google marketing speaker, there's thousands, and I would even venture to say 5,000 to 10,000 people that speak on marketing. I mean, it's all over the place. It's just like a speaker on leadership, a speaker on management, a speaker on pretty much anything, you know? And these comedians that go into colleges and speak, there's tons of people. So if I thought to myself, well, there's too many people doing this, then I wouldn't be a speaker today, because I would say, well, there's too many people doing this. And I started as an absolutely horrible brand, but I was America's shoestring budget coach. I was teaching people how to save a ton of money on marketing and advertising. But every time I spoke, I tried to offer my products and my coaching services to help people market their business, even though I just told them not to spend any money on marketing and advertising. And I'm the marketing genius. You know, I'm the marketing guy, but I did that for myself. And I'm like, Craig, what did you just do? You're just telling everyone not to spend any money, because I'm teaching you how to do this without spending money, and then I try to sell them a package.
I love that. I love that.
But you just told us this amazing story about how you toured with Guns N' Roses and Air Supply. Why aren't you incorporating music in your brand? And once again, I'm like, I do this for a living for other people, but I couldn't do it correctly myself, because we can't see the obvious, what is in front of us. And that's why everyone needs a coach or a mentor or someone to brainstorm with, like a mastermind group, because we can't do it ourselves. And I'm the expert. I do this for people, but I couldn't do it for myself. So I went to that mastermind meeting and I shared that information, and they told me, why aren't you incorporating music? So I went upstairs that night in my hotel room and I started thinking, yeah, why am I not doing that? And I incorporated music into my brand. I went back downstairs the next day and said to everybody, all right, how about this? Instead of America's Shoestring Budget Coach, how about Rockstar System for Success? How to achieve Rockstar status in your industry? And everyone went nuts, and that's how it was born. And then it morphed into Rockstar Marketing, and that's where we are today. And then now I still teach the same principles of how you can save a lot of money on marketing and advertising. You know, you don't have to spend a fortune, but I teach them to be rock stars in their business, and they have to step it up, and you have to spend money to make some more money. And now I have a very successful high-end coaching and mastermind program.
Well, yeah, you tapped into something that was unique, and now when people think about, you know, rock star anything, they're gonna think about you.
Every time I go to a seminar now, you know, a lot of people don't know my name, but But because of what I wear at the seminars, I always wear a funky, cool jacket, and I walk by, and they always say, "Oh, there's the rock star. That's the rock star." And I know I'm not a rock star, but it's really interesting that my brand makes them call me rock star, because I'm the rock star speaker, and I'm the one speaking that day on being a rock star in your business. And it's interesting because I get keynote talks right now because they always Google. A lot of corporations are looking for. They always have a theme. So many conferences have the theme: be a star this year, be a rock star in your business. So the event planner is always typing in Rockstar speakers and Rockstar business or something, and I always come up, and that's why I get speaking gigs as keynotes for corporations, because their theme is always aligned with what I speak about. So if you could come up with something like that when you're branding yourself, what people are looking for, what people are Googling, and be that to them, that's how you get more speaking gigs.
Well, and what's brilliant about the branding that you do with Rockstar, you have your books, that are available to people, and then when you were throwing out the T-shirts, these aren't just like T-shirts that just say, call Steve the mechanic, at 855.
Right.
They're actual T-shirts that you would want to wear, and it doesn't matter who. That's what I like. What does it say on there?
So I can easily put down. And I used to do this, Craig Duswalt's Marketing Bootcamp, Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp, and put my name on it, all that stuff. But and people loved getting them, people wore them. But I just think the ones that I do now, rock your life.
Boom.
Everyone will.
Boom. Yep.
Yeah. Who's not going to wear something rock your life? And then I put a little on the back collar. I just put my brand and my website.
No, then you're ensuring that people are going to wear them. And if they wear them, they're actually like a walking billboard for you.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as long as here's another thing, folks. If you're going to do T-shirts too, step it up a little bit and maybe go for the higher quality, the soft, nice thing. Don't go for the cheap T-shirts, okay? Because you know what?
Exactly.
I'll tell you, I'll get some stuff and I'll get some T-shirts and I love the logo or I love what it says. Like I'm like, oh my God, this is so. And then it's that horribly cheap cotton that is the thick collar.
Bad cotton, yeah.
Bad cotton. Don't do the bad cotton.
What's really funny? You just talked about having the brand on it. I have a comedian friend of mine who comes to my seminars a lot. He's in my mastermind. His name is Adam Ace, and he's one of the top college speakers, comedians out there. He works basically like 250 days a year in colleges all across America, and he does this thing at my boot camps where he'll do a 45-minute session. And because I throw out T-shirts, I throw tons of T-shirts out at my seminars. And so he gets up to do his 45-minute brand, and he starts throwing T-shirts out to the audience just to make fun of me or just embellish what I did. But they're white T-shirts with nothing on them. And he goes, I hope you like my T-shirts. They're just white T-shirts. But it's so funny because, and then he throws a pair of tidy whitey underwear out there too. It's just very funny.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant.
Right?
That's a brilliant play on your brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's a callback to what I just did using the funny piece of it. Very funny.
Let's talk about another aspect of what you teach people, what you train them in, and I think it's really important. I think it's important in business. I think it's important in families. I think it's important just in your own personal life if you're just all by yourself. Rockstar leadership. And what I appreciate about this is that you explain that leaders are problem solvers. This is something that I personally, I don't know if I excel at it because I've had to do it or because I really like it. I like to solve problems. I'm Scorpio I've got 5 planets in Scorpio, so I'm a very good investigator, but I'm also someone who really likes to make things a little bit smoother, to make it a little bit easier, but also to get the best quality if I'm at a restaurant or if I'm at a hotel or if I'm at a business. Let's talk about leaders being problem solvers and your own experience, because I know as Axl Rose's personal assistant, you've had to solve a lot of problems and probably quite fast.
One of the problems I had to solve, just in a Guns N' Roses story, we're in Czechoslovakia with Guns N' Roses, and Axl is not losing his voice, but he has a sore throat, and he has to go on stage in 30 minutes. And we're already late. We were famously late in Guns N' Roses. And so he goes, and he didn't want to do the show, but there's like 80,000 people in the audience. And he goes, find me an English-speaking ENT, ear, nose, throat doctor, in 10 minutes, otherwise I'm not doing the show. And I'm like, where am I going to find an English-speaking Czech in 10 minutes? And I did it. I went into the audience and started offering backstage passes to people that can find me an English-speaking ENT in the audience. And as luck would have it, there was one. And I got backstage and I did it. It's one of my claims to fame with Guns N' Roses. But leadership I'm a good leader. I'm a really good leader for my mastermind group, but I'm not a great leader. It's a work in progress for me. I have trouble delegating. I'm a control freak.
Me too.
Right?
Me too.
Right? And it's interesting what I do. I run, brag for a multi-million-dollar speaking business right now. I'm doing very, very well. I keynote speak. I go out for $10,000 to $15,000 for an hour, and I put on huge seminars that make good money. But I do a lot of work. And so I bill and make a lot of money. And I do not have a personal assistant. I don't have an assistant. I have nobody that actually works for me. Now, I have an event planner. I have people that do stuff for me. But as far as doing my day-to-day stuff and working with my schedule and my travel, I do all that, filling up my boot camps, replying to people, attendees coming to my boot camps. I do all that by myself. And it's because I believe, because I enjoy when I have hands-on to the people that I'm working with. Like, I hate 888 numbers. I hate 800 numbers. I want to talk to the person that I've either bought something from or want to be involved with their group or something. I want to talk to the person. So I believe that people enjoy that and like that about me. So I've never changed it. And I know I'm really good. Brian Tracy, one of the top business speakers in the world and coaches, did something at one of a seminar that I went to. I went to see him speak. Because I was in this VIP group, I took a picture of him backstage before he went on stage. I took a picture with him literally for 5 seconds. I showed him my book. We took a picture, shook hands, and I was done. Then he goes up on stage, does a 1.5-hour presentation. As he's walking past me in the audience amongst these 500 people that are applauding, I say, "Thank you, Mr. Tracy. Loved your talk." And he says, "Thank you, Craig." He remembered my name. And I looked at that going, oh my gosh, how did he remember my name? To make a long story short, I asked him later, because I became bigger in the speaking world, if he would speak on my stage. And he said yes. So I met him before he spoke on my stage, and we recapped the story. I said, "Brian, I just have to know, how do you remember names? Why do you remember names?" And he said, "It's the most important thing that I do. People in this world want significance. So I make it my mission to learn everybody's name that I come in contact with. And I just happen to have this memory. And I've learned it from him. And I have no idea how I do it, but I am that guy. I remember everybody's names. I have to meet them once or see them once, and I remember their names. So because I don't have an assistant, I know everyone coming to my seminar. I know their first and last name, and I can recap that name in my brain when I see them live, and they are blown away. And I think that's the best thing I do with leadership. I don't have an assistant because I'm not good at delegating. So that doesn't make me a good leader. But because of that, I do other things well because I don't have an assistant. So I'm a good leader in one aspect, not such a good leader in another aspect. But I think it works for what I do because people are blown away that I remember their names. So they say, wow, what a great leader, because he cares about the people and he cares about me because he took time to know my name.
Well, the whole idea about caring, because there's some folks who will try and do, let's say, they want to be a marketing guru, or they want to do leadership and do seminars and things like that. For me, what I've realized that it's always what's the intention behind the person's heart. And I've done a lot of public speaking, representing a radio station, going to these events where the listeners who've heard me on the air for years, they come out and they'll wait. They'll wait till after the event's over, and they'll come over and they'll say, "Oh, Christine, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I've listened to you for all these years." And what I immediately, it's just the strangest thing, but for me, when somebody has taken the time and the effort to come to see me, to talk, and they wait and they come up to talk to me, my first emotion, first of all, is I'm very humbled by it. Second of all, I give them a hug. And,
yeah, me too. I'm a hugger.
and when you give someone a hug and you pour your heart out to them, just for that split second, you're just sending them all your love, and you're like, whatever it is that is going on, it is amazing the response that you get back.
Oh yeah.
It is powerful. Now I know, I can judge people, so I know if it's like a creepy person who's kind of, I don't hug them necessarily, but
it's interesting. Yeah, in this world, I have to be careful as a guy, hugging, but I do the side hug, so I'm not like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not touching them straight on, if you know what I mean. I'm off to the side a little bit, because you do have to be careful in this world. I'm very careful about that.
No, I give them like a Mother Teresa hug. My pelvic region is far away from them.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. My chest is far away from their chest. My pelvic region is way far away from theirs. Yes, exactly.
And it's just, it's that communication. It's that touch too. Because people aren't used to touching. I mean,
right.
we equate touching with something that's sexual, because like we were talking about, but also just the idea of just holding someone's hand or shaking their hand and holding on to it for a bit, and while you're looking at them in the eye. I think that's absolutely powerful.
Absolutely. I do that all the time, and I never had anyone get offended by what I did, because I am very careful, and you can tell also when you meet someone if the hug is there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If they're very, shy or cold, I don't go in for the hug. But if you can tell if someone is ready for that, and that's just reading, that's just intelligence without being creepy, My wife was hugged by this pretty famous person. I won't mention names, but she said, "Oh my God, not only did he come in tight, he came in pelvic first, and she got creeped out by it. And I said, and he's a friend of mine, and it's so hard to dude, what are you doing?" But anyway, that's a whole other show, I think.
I know.
Right. I don't know. We went off marketing somehow and got into.
Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to marketing.
It's okay.
Something that I appreciate too with your brand of marketing, you're very intelligent on when it comes to what people can digest.
Oh yeah.
That's why I like the idea of everybody, getting on the project, and do it tonight, do it today, start that, that book. And in 96 pages or 65 pages, whatever, just to have that writing, and to keep it in small bits, because we are bombarded by information. We're kind of like a quick, very quick attention span. But one thing I noticed is, I think it's your Motivation Mondays, the video series that you have on YouTube. Very clever, because they're all under 5 minutes. Some of them are about 2.5 minutes. That, my friend, is brilliant, because it's just enough to get people, get their taste buds, going. They're charged, and then you give information. So tell the listeners about the idea, whatever business people are in, marketing yourself on YouTube, these self-publishing type YouTube videos, and keeping it short, but what messages people should put in those videos, because I thought they were brilliant. They're very smart.
Yeah, thank you. And it's funny, I used to do Marketing Mondays and 3-Minute Thursdays, and they're still up there. But I've switched everything to Rock Your Life TV, and I'm in the process of doing all these short videos. In fact, just yesterday, I filmed 25 videos about 5 minutes long, which actually is a little long, but they're interviews with my top mastermind people. So we just started getting into it yesterday, but so one of the things I teach in marketing, no matter what business you're in, is how to write a book and why you should write a book. Another one is speaking and getting on stages, whether you're a professional speaker and or just doing lunch and learns, just to get in front of people, because everyone is so focused on the internet, which is great, but less and less people are getting in front of people. So that's number two. Another one is videos. Same idea. Videos do so many different things for you. Google searching is great. SEO, search engine optimization, is great with videos. Google loves videos, and we all love videos because we want to put a face to the content that we're getting. So I do these short videos, and the reason why they're short is so many reasons. First, people will watch them. If I click on a video and I see it's more than 5 minutes long, I'm out. I just won't look at it. If it's like a 9-minute video, A, I don't have time for that, and B, they're just probably rambling about something or complaining about something. Now, so I tend to do 2 to 3, maybe 4-minute videos, but I try to keep them under 5, unless it's an interview, and then it can go a little bit longer because at least there's 2 people talking and it's interesting. But for tips and quick tips, 2-3 minutes at the most, and then you can do more of them. So my whole thing is getting tons of videos out there. But if you do a 1-hour video about everything that you do, then you have 1 video on YouTube. Or you create a series, which is way better, and break it up into little segments. But even if something that you want to talk about takes a long time, then just do part 1, part 2, part 3. And people will then follow you, and they'll get to know you. They'll subscribe to your YouTube channel. And the more subscribers you get on your YouTube channel, because you have so many videos up, the more of a chance you have of YouTube paying you to do videos, because if a lot of people are subscribed to your video channel, that means every time you do a video, they automatically get an email saying, hey, Craig Duswalt just put a new video up. And the more subscribers, if you could get 10,000 subscribers, which is not very hard when it starts to snowball, if you get 10,000 subscribers, YouTube will start paying you money, because you have all these subscribers, and they know that every time you do a video, 10 are doing something like that. And that's the world we live in, is the more subscribers you have on YouTube, the more Facebook likes you have, the more Instagram followers you have, the more Twitter people you have. All those things culminate really with making more money, getting more people to be in your database, and really someone paying you because you have all these followers. And it's interesting. My wife owns a modeling agency. It's called Peak Models and Talent. And it used to be when you cast someone, the casting notice would say, we want a woman 20 to 24 years old, blue eyes, blonde hair, and about 5'8" to 5'10". Let's just assume that's the casting notice. Now, these days, it says all that, but they also want the model must have at least 10,000 followers on Instagram. And that's the world we live in. So we have to focus on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and maybe even LinkedIn these days. So YouTube is just one piece of that puzzle that you were just talking about, getting out there and doing videos.
Well, the brilliant thing about YouTube, I understand the importance, obviously, of like Facebook and Instagram, but the beautiful thing about YouTube and this program, even though it airs, live on UBN, the actual archive of it will be on YouTube. The gorgeous thing about YouTube is that it's easy to share on your social media. So you can share the video on Facebook. You can share the video through email. You can email that link to your entire, whatever database. So if let's say you're someone who's in real estate and you have a property that just came up on the market, well, it would take a while for you to call everybody that you think would be interested. But if you take a video of the property, maybe even use one of those drones, that you can do video, so you have a beautiful purview, so it looks like an amazing production. Here's the backyard. Here's next to the beach. And you can put that onto a video. You can send that to your entire database of potential buyers and share it on social media. And it gives you so much more coverage. I love YouTube. I love the whole idea of it.
Yeah, me too. I'm there a lot. I live on YouTube.
Well, and getting back to the idea too of self-promotion and self-publishing, the one of the things you said, you've helped how many people?
500 plus. I think it's like almost 600 now. So regular people that had no intentions of writing a book, when they come to my Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp, or they come to a guest where I'm guest speaking somewhere, I always try to convince them to write a book. It's the first thing I do. I think it's like the first thing that everybody should do, because, like I said, think about having your picture and your name on the front cover of a book, and when you actually get that, it's like a legacy. You can now, I can die and go to heaven because at least something is on earth that has my name and picture of it, and it never goes away. I've written, I think it's my 8th book I'm writing right now. 8 books. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I will have written 8 books, I would have thought you're crazy. There's not a chance. Not a chance.
Well, and you help people, basically you teach them how to write a book and promote it. In 30 days, right?
So many people write books, but then it just sits in their garage.
Yeah.
You got to get it out there, right?
And so now here's the question. First of all, would this be self-publishing? Obviously, because if not, they would have to try and find a publisher, and it's very difficult. I know that whole thing. So you inform people about like services, things, ways that they can get their own book. They can create it on print on demand, I guess, too.
There's numerous ways to go here. I used to tell people to self-publish their books and do it themselves, and then and in my system that I sell, it's how to write a book in 30 days and how to self-publish it. In that system is a step-by-step on how to self-publish a book. So how to get the barcode, how to get the ISBN number.
Oh, you're good.
All that stuff. Right? All what needs to go on page 2, what disclaimer needs to go in the book, the formatting of the book, the margins of the book, and all that stuff. So I have that in my system, and there are people that do it, but it never comes out the way I envision it should look. Just doesn't. So there's that self-publishing. Then there's publishing by a publisher and getting an agent. So for my Guns N' Roses book, I wrote a book called Welcome to My Jungle. It's on Amazon, still there. It sold tons of copies. But I got an agent, and the agent got me a publishing deal, and I did it that way. But it took 2.5 years for when I wrote the book till it finally came out in bookstores. 2.5 years. So I teach businesses how to write books for their business, and we don't want to wait 2.5 years for a book. The information that we wrote about will be old by then. So there's something called hybrid publishing, and that's mainly what I do right now, is teach people to go to a hybrid publisher. I have one. I actually had a publishing company that I've closed because I want to just focus on speaking. So my publisher, her name is Karen Strauss. She has hybrid global publishing. I just refer everybody to her. She's a New York publisher that helps people. Like when I got my Guns N' Roses book published, I don't even necessarily own the book anymore. My publisher does. So that's weird to me, But hybrid publishing, you get all the help of a publisher, but you still own the book, and the book will come out within 1 or 2 months, depending on how fast you work. And that's what's happening now in the industry, is most people are going to these hybrid publishers where they will do the book for you, but you still own the book, and you have creative control over the book, and you get more of a percentage of the book. That's
brilliant. And the idea, that's the idea. What I love is that the hybrid publishers, they took a need and they filled it because to do it yourself, it's daunting. And you know what? I'm sorry, you don't. Let's say you're a mechanic and you know how to fix Volkswagens. Vintage Volkswagens, you're not going to know all of that. You're not going to know about a barcode and what to put on page 2, but you know your stuff, right? And maybe you've taken pictures, your stuff of working on a Volkswagen 1968 VW, ragtop or something. You know that car like from the inside out. So the possibility of you writing a book and having it be, people wanting it is high. But to to go and find an agent who would even take it on, and then to find a publisher. And I know they do. They buy the book from you. They buy the rights from you. They give you a little bit of money, but this is a brilliant way. They filled a need. These hybrid publishers have filled a big need and a big demand. So I'm sure they're busy. They're quite busy.
Oh yeah, quite. In fact, I'm writing Women Who Rock 2. It's my wife. It's my wife's book. We had Women Who Rock, and it was just inspirational women. We had about 33 the first time, and I think we have about 40 authors this time. And I'm in the middle of that, and I get the stories, and then I just give them to her, and then she edits them, she proofreads them, lays it out in the book, and it's all done. And it's just absolutely so much easier. They are so busy because, like you said, they filled a niche that was needed, and I alone send so many people to this poor woman. She's overwhelmed.
And I think that's a real big key to success that I've realized, Craig, is that when you realize that there is a need for whatever it is that you do, whatever business you're in, whatever profession that you are in or that you want to, whatever your passion is, there is some type of need for that, and it's getting you, your product, your service into the eyeballs of people who have that need. And I just love how you make that accessible for people through your events and through your seminars. Why don't you let people know a little bit about what's coming up for you, how people can take advantage of your energy and come see you? And
I would love that. Yeah, thank you. So like I said, every March and September, I do these Rockstar Marketing Bootcamps. It's 3 days. The first day is called Rockstar Expert Sessions. Basically, it's I speak in the morning, and then I have 4 of my top speaker people teach something that I think is very, very important in the industry that you need. Like this time I have a mindset coach because I believe I can teach you all the marketing in the world, but if you don't have the right mindset, then you're not going to be successful. If you need to know that you can do it and you want to do it and you have a passion for it. Then I have a guy that is teaching you how to sell from the stage. If you're a speaker and or do lunch and learns where you need to offer a product or service, how do you get people to show up, number one, and how do you actually put together an offer so people will buy it? Another guy is a trademark lawyer. He will help you with your trademark, which I think is very, very important, and boy, do I have stories there. And last, a woman that has been in Elvis Presley movies, and she's been on like Johnny Carson or something, and she teaches people how to have confidence on stage, how to lose stage fright and all that. So that's the first day, and then we have a party, an opening night party that night on Thursday night, March 22nd. And then Friday and Saturday, all day is me teaching marketing, and more marketing. And I have some guest speakers, some surprises, maybe a rock star or two. And it's March 22nd to the 24th, 2018. It's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's at the Westin Los Angeles Airport Hotel, the Westin LAX. It's on Century Boulevard right next to the airport. So tons of people fly in because they just take a shuttle to the airport. And it's, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's $897 to go for the 3 days. But when I do interviews with people that I respect and like Christine, I give deals of a lifetime. And I set up a special page for these type of interviews. And I don't do a ton of these type of offers. 90%, 95% of the people in the room will have paid $897 or more to come to the seminar. But if you go to CraigDuswalt.com, and I'll spell that in a minute, /guest, G-U-E-S-T, you can get a ticket to my Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp in March for only $97. So you save $800.
Wow.
And I know, right? But I do this because I want to meet your people, because if they are anything like you, I'm going to like them. And I just reward people that listen to podcasts, listen to radio shows, go to seminars,
because those are the people that really do want to learn, where they take time out of their day to try to learn something new. So my name is spelled Craig, D as in David, U, S as in Sam, WALT as in Tom.com. So it's CraigDuswalt.com/guest, and you get in for $97.
And again, it's CraigDuswalt.com, CraigDuswalt.com/guest or guests, plural or single?
Just one, guest.
Guest. Okay, so so put that in your browser, and again, it's going to be March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Not $897 like everyone else will be paying, but $97, and that is an investment. I'm going to tell you, folks, that I know for me, investing $100 on something that can literally not only inspire you, just to be a better human being, to be a better parent, to be a better spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, but to have the possibility to tap into your skills, your passion, and become financially, a success, or to enhance your financial, bottom line. That's massively important, and it's so worth $97.
It's ridiculous. And they're going to learn over 3 days, over 200, I think it's 254 outside the box marketing ideas that they could do in their business to generate more income, generate more leads, get people to go to their websites, get more likes, get more YouTube subscribers. So all these things, and there's so many of them. And I don't want to float my boat here or brag, but every time someone comes to my seminar, they are changed for life. Their life changes. So, and it's high energy. It's 3 days of major high energy, and it's fun. I play music in between, so it's not boring. I show videos in between, so it's not boring. And I tell some pretty incredible stories touring with Air Supply and Guns N' Roses and just being in the entertainment industry. And it's always a surprise or two. Like, I don't know if a lot of your listeners know who Les Brown is.
Yes.
Les Brown is one of the top motivational speakers in the world. He's a friend of mine, and he's spoken at 2 of my seminars. And just in September, out of nowhere, I just saw something that I saw he was in Los Angeles. So on Saturday, the last day, at 3 o'clock, and it ends at 6 o'clock on Saturday, at 3 o'clock, I texted him, and I said, "Hey, Les, are you in Los Angeles?" He said, "Yeah, I'm at Disneyland with my niece or my daughter." And I said, "Is there any way when you're on," he said, "I'm leaving now." And I said, "Is there any way you can stop by the Westin LAX? And I have 300 people in the audience, 350 people that I would love to surprise them." And he said, "Yeah, I'll be there in an hour and a half." And Les Brown, and no one, not even my event planner knew. So nobody knew. And I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise for you. Here he is. Please welcome to the stage, Les Brown." The audience went nuts. It was unbelievable. So I'm not saying that Les Brown's going to come again, but I have surprises all the time. And for $97 to be inspired by the people that I have coming, and not only learn some marketing ideas, you will leave that seminar on fire, wanting to conquer the world. It happens all the time.
Well, not only are you going to be inspired and things are going to be triggered inside of you, all the ideas that you've been suffocating with, the idea of struggle. Oh, I got to struggle. I got to work hard. No, you don't.
Nope.
This is such an important thing, and I truly hope people take advantage of it. But don't also realize that you are going to be surrounded by people who they're not sitting on their couch eating bonbons. They want to take charge. They have ideas. You might be sitting next to somebody that has the key to your business, somebody that has the skill that you're looking for. This is the reason why I love these type of events, because the energy in the room is amazing. You feel it. It's palpable. But also, you are going to be networking and meeting the most creative, folks who are ready to kickstart their life. And what an incredible group of people to be surrounded by. So again, the information is this. It's going to be March 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and it is available to you at CraigDuswalt.com/guest, CraigDuswalt.com. And a question, Craig, for those because we have a lot of listeners all around the world, if they're not in Los Angeles on March 22nd, will you be live streaming it, or is there an ability for people to watch what's happening, to participate if they're like not in Los Angeles?
Right. So 80% of my audience does not live in Los Angeles because I speak all over and they fly in to the seminar. So I do not live stream it on purpose because I'm a theater guy. I have a theater background, and I can't stand watching a theatrical production on TV. It just doesn't translate. And I feel that seminars live streamed do not translate very, very well. So I do not do that. I think I know for a fact that it's more effective to show up live. You get more out of it. The energy in the room is unbelievable. So I always require people to come to the seminar. And that's why I get 300 to 400 to 500 people coming, because I do not live stream. So that's a little marketing tip that I share, because it would be great to live stream it and see people, but it's just not as effective. The content isn't as effective for people. And a lot of times people are in and out, not really paying attention. When they're at the seminar, they are paying attention. So I do not live stream.
And the good thing about that is that people have to come see you, but also you're not just in Los Angeles, right? You do these nationwide. So if folks want to find out if you're ever coming near them, if they're on the East Coast, they can also go to CraigDuswalt.com and find out what your schedule is. You have your events scheduled
Correct.
there, right?
So the Rockstar Marketing Bootcamps, those are the ones that are only done in Los Angeles because they're huge. Rock Your Life is where I go to different cities. So I do these Friday and Saturday night events called Rock Your Life Nights. Those are the ones where I go all over. And then I tell people when I'm there, hey, come to the Rockstar Marketing Bootcamp in Los Angeles. Plus, LA is a nice place to visit. Nice weather.
And it's easy to get here. It's easy
to get here.
It is.
Yeah.
Craig Duswalt, I want to thank you so very much for being my guest today on Out of the Box Radio. I am absolutely so very stoked to have met you, and I'm going to have you back on as many times as I can, because I think
I would love it. And just so everyone knows, Christine is a rock star in her business. You got to follow this person. I know I will be. So
thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
And again, you can find out more by going to CraigDuswalt.com and score those. Get a bunch of tickets. You know, if you have a business or if you have a company, imagine how your staff, imagine how your managers will just soar after being motivated and getting new ideas about being creative in business by this 3-day wonderful conference by Craig Duswalt. And that's CraigDuswalt.com. Again, instead of $897, it's $97 if you put at the end of CraigDuswalt.com the word guest.
Right, and it has to be / and all lowercase GUEST. So it's all lowercase. I forgot to mention that.
Perfect.
And if they want to see more about what's at the bootcamp itself, there's actually an event page, rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com, but don't buy the ticket there because that's where you get it for $897. But you can go to rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com to see all the information about the bootcamp.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Craig Duswalt.
Thank you, Christine.
And I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Remember, too, if you've missed any of this, don't worry. This will be on YouTube. You can subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode by going to iTunes or iHeartRadio, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get the interview and share it with friends and family. Until next week, I want to thank you for listening. And as always, remember to think outside of the box. Bye for now.